You're listening to Reading Between the Lines with your host, Drew Parker.
Self-destruct sequence activated.
This is the RBTL podcast. You are listening to us right now. My name is Drew Parker with my co-host
John Sterrett.
All right, and we are brought to you by Blue Apron, who is a home delivery service. Farm fresh meals come to your door weekly. They're delivered right to your door. Pre-packaged, pre-portioned ingredients. 30 to 40 minute cook time. If you have the money and don't have the time, it's great for you. Go to blueapron.com for more information and more details. We don't have a discount quite yet, but we're working on that slowly but surely. As for this podcast, you're listening right now, but you can find this on SoundCloud, iTunes, on your podcast section. You can also find this on my personal Facebook page and the podcast Facebook page. And then you can also find it on YouTube. Go ahead and plug that, John.
Search John Sterrett, JOHNSTARRETT on YouTube. Search Red Raiders and you'll find it.
All right, and as for the podcast, boy, we are in a fun month, aren't we, John? We got all, minus one, we got all the fun sports going on. MLB, NBA, NHL, I don't care about that, but we got NHL going on, NFL, college football.
There's a little bit of everything.
There really is. And you got the World Series playing behind us right now. Go Astros. I'm going there this weekend on a mission trip, and hopefully we're not caught in the zoo that is parking in traffic.
For that flood stuff.
Right.
Definitely. All right, so before we start, I have one thing that I wanted to bring up with you.
Here we go.
Okay, so there's a definition of a fan, and then there's the super fans that want to take things into their own hands. And so, Drew, would you like to tell me what happened? As we know, Tech has some problems with their kicking game. And so what did you do about it?
Well, let's say it's not as much as we bargained for him, all right? We have a kicker.
Terrible pun. Michael Barden, I got you.
I hope I didn't make that spike in my lap. It's fine. I'll back up a little bit. Michael Barden is our kicker. I believe he's a short range guy. I don't think we have. I think we definitely have a separate long range guy.
We've struggled with Michael Uton from short distance, right. And Michael Barden from long distance has struggled as well.
I have that backwards. I thought Barden was a short range.
Yeah, we've definitely struggled as a team, Tech, in the short game. So, what do you do about it, Drew?
Well, I use what I do best, being obnoxious, to my favor, to my benefit.
Okay.
Over the course of 2 nights,
you got it.
I tweeted at them. I tweeted at them probably 20 times. I messaged them about 200. Direct messaged them on Twitter.
Did you hear that? 200 times.
I slid into their DMs, as the kids say these days.
To do what?
To try out to be the kicker. This
is a fact.
This is also on top of emailing them 20 to 30 times. I don't remember the exact number, but it's fine. Literally copying and pasting the same message over and over and over again. Just sending it.
Like an obsessive amount, to the point where they're like, what is happening?
And I think I called them like another 10 times, maybe 15.
This is a true over-the-top, something needs to change, so Drew stepped in.
And the fact that I'm stepping in means you have a real problem. But nonetheless, I tried out to be a place kicker. This is Wednesday the 25th of August? Not August, October. Wrong month.
Yes, October.
And I went to the fancy new indoor training facility, which, by the way,
you got into the brand new state-of-the-art facility.
I promise you right now, our tuition money and our taxpayer dollars are going to something special, because that was a sweet gig over there. I don't know. I'm not going to get political, but anyway, it's fine. It's a beautiful facility.
It's going to help recruiting a lot, especially in track and field, but also in football.
Assuming we can get wins on top of that. And
that helps.
And so I get there, and you said his name. I don't remember his name to save my life, because if I don't use a name,
I wanted to say the special teams coach is Joe Robertson, but I'm not 100% sure.
If I don't use a name right when I hear it, then I don't forget. Then I forget it.
So you're telling me he was there?
He was there with his assistant, and God knows what his. Who knows? I don't know what his name was.
So you had the coaches there.
There were no players there. It is Joe Robbins. It is Joe Robbins. Joe Robbins? Robinson. So there were no players there. It was just him and his assistant.
So Drew gets into the facility with permission.
And a guy that I don't think he was a player, but it was a guy who was not one of them two holding the ball for me. So I had a guy holding the ball. It wasn't off fatigue, because they wanted to make it realistic to the game.
Yeah.
And they set me up
This is too good to be true.
It was very businesslike. There wasn't any getting to know you, how you doing, how's life, what are you doing at school, nothing like that. None of the freshman usual questions. I'm not a freshman, but anyway. And they set me up, from the 9. And for those of y'all who don't know that's significance, that's our extra point. That is the point that you kick extra points from.
So how many did they let you take?
That is 20 extra points.
They let you take 20 extra points.
10 for the end zone, and the ball is placed to the 2, and then it snapped back 7 yards to the 9. So it was a 19-yard field goal, which is extra point.
Yeah.
I made 20 out of 20.
20 out of 20.
And
to this day, we need to fact check
I
this.
know you're thinking I'm ridiculous. And maybe it's just because of my soccer background and I have a natural kicking motion.
Okay.
But extra points are chip shots. They're really easy. I don't see how. I mean, there's obviously pressure and crowd noise and whatnot, and all that real game time stuff. But extra points aren't that hard. They really are. I'm not kidding when I say this. It sounds ridiculous, but I could probably make it in my sleep. And
that is confidence
it's
right there.
And that's an exaggeration by a little bit at least. And
if I was sleep kicking.
But what do you do when you sleep? You have your eyes closed, okay? Mm-hmm. They also asked me to do it with my eyes closed.
So they said, "You're looking pretty confident. You think you got this?"
They literally saw me do it with this is me trying to humble brag as best as I can. No,
just keep going.
they literally saw me do it with such ease and such. This isn't a big deal to me that they were joking. They're like, huh, you want to do it with your eyes closed? Like they literally joked around. Like they literally had a chuckle to their voice. When they asked me
kid,
this.
try it with your eyes closed. See how it works.
I thought you said eyes closed. It's fine.
Unedited. I'm not even gonna edit that out.
It's fine. And they said make 5 with your eyes closed. Okay. I made 3.
3 of 5 with your eyes closed.
I missed the 2 that I missed. I hope because I kicked on out my eyes to see where it went. One I missed because I shanked it to the right. If I ever have missed aim, it tends to be a push because I try to overpower it and I turn my foot out a little too much and it shanks to the right.
Okay.
And then the other one was that I got under it too much and it popped up too high and I didn't make it over.
Yeah.
But I made 3 of the 5 with my eyes closed, and then. They set me up. They're in increments of 5. They went 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
So that eventually adds up to a 50-yard field goal?
And they set me up on both hashes and down the middle.
Okay.
And then I'm naturally better on the left side because when I do push the ball, if I'm over on the left side, it kind of auto-corrects me a little bit. So when
brings
it
back in.
Yeah, right. So when I'm on the right side, if I shake it at all, it screws me up, obviously.
Okay, so you made some extra points.
Right.
And then they started moving you back.
And they started
tell
moving
me about
back,
this.
and I made, let's see, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That's 7 kicks. Going back in increments of 5.
How many of those did you make?
On the left side, I made 6.
You made 6 of the 7?
Yes.
And which is the farthest one you hit?
I made back to 45.
You made back to, what was the furthest field goal? You made the 45
45 on the left side.
Okay, so you hit a 45-yard field goal.
Yes.
On the left side.
And then from the middle, I missed 2. I missed the 40-yarder, or I missed the... Am I doing that in my head right? Yes. I missed the 45-yarder and the 50-yarder. So the furthest I made down the middle was a 40-yarder.
Okay.
I'm doing my math right. I'm doing quick math over
I think so.
And then on the right side, I struggled a little bit more because obviously I'd already kicked however many times that is.
Quite a bit.
So I was getting a little tired, and I'm obviously, like I said, I'm weaker on the right side because it goes against my natural curve of my kick, I guess, what you call that. And so I think I missed the back 4. I don't want to name them out and do bad math.
I mean, without consistently kicking to have enough leg to even get that far is pretty impressive.
And there was... So I struggled on the right side, but I knew I was going to. It was, and it sounds cocky. I didn't practice, and if you're wondering why I didn't practice, it's because I just made a vibration. I'm gonna slow it.
Is that what it is?
I hit the spring of the mic. And I didn't practice because I come from a long. I don't want to say I'm only 23. I don't want to say long background of soccer. I haven't played 40 years, but I played a lot of soccer growing up.
Okay.
I played 16 seasons, which is equivalent to 8 years growing up.
Okay.
Spring and fall. And so I have a natural kicking emotion. And maybe I just take that for granted sometimes. But like I'm telling you, chip shots are easy money for me. Like I was hitting that, that Allstate net that they use in the games. I was hitting the hands on that thing.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not kidding.
I've always wanted to do that, but I don't think I've ever really practiced field goals
and
or
so
tried them.
they literally said, "We'll let you know after this weekend."
I mean, that's cool that that they didn't just like
right.
And
I thought this was just this doesn't mean anything. We're not going to give you a call back. We're not going to give you a chance. This is just for you. This is just so you can come out, do your thing, so you shut up. But
yeah, I mean, when you bothered them that much,
unless they give me a no, I am not shutting up.
Okay.
So I don't know what the time frame is for next week, but they said that they'd get me. That they call me at some point next week and tell me what my status is. As for the OU game, they're coming out this week. We'll get into this obviously later in the podcast. But So I guess I hate to say it, root for us to miss kicks.
No.
And
but,
you know what?
Dude, what a story that would be.
I would be. While everyone else is cheering, the entire Wesley would be booing me, which is fine. Which I know would happen. Don't try to lie to me. And it's I don't know. It's you gotta be the change you want to see in the world, right? That's my mentality. And I was like, what if I gotta lose?
And that cliche is to mean might as well try it.
Right.
So, I don't even know how you did that, but somehow you made all those kicks in front of the special teams coach.
Johnny, that 45-yard 50-yarder was.
I mean, and Cliff said last week they haven't tried everything yet, and so man, maybe the everything is Drew Parker.
I mean, Barton was over 3 in the game, which we'll get into in a minute, but it was bad.
From that, it sounds like if they put you in with the 24-yarder, like at the end of
easy freaking money. Like extra points all day, baby. I'm not kidding. I don't know how you miss an
Drew
extra
Parker
point.
with the crowd yelling
really
at him.
Don't understand
Not
how you would miss an extra point. My leg's a little stiff because that was the most kicking I've done in a while. But we'll see. As for the podcast, this might affect us a little bit. I can be open about it now because I haven't officially made the team yet.
Yet.
But
that's confidence. I love it.
I'm trying to keep my hopes low because it was a good performance, so I know there's some hope. But I mean, really, what?
It's hard to do.
I'd be living in a dream if I played for Tech. I'd be living in a
however,
dream.
Every kicker essentially is a walk-on when they start.
True. And I would kick on if you know what I mean. I was kind of hoping that they'd have Barton next to me, so I could see his face change as I made the kicks, which would be really funny. But as for the podcast, because of NCAA rules, if I make the team, there's a fine line to.
Would you have to drop a sponsor? Or would you have to?
I wouldn't have to drop a sponsor. I don't think. I haven't read too much into it. I'm sure they would tell me.
I mean, you can talk to him about it if that's the case.
But I think what would happen is I can still do the podcast. I can still be sponsored. Blue Apron, if you're listening, don't drop us, please. But I can't.
This is a very big if in all those situations.
I can't use my likeness to promote the podcast, so I can't say, "Hey, I'm the kicker. Come and follow me. Give me money." I can't say that. So if I'm very,
it's probably good.
If I'm very just recap and unbiased on the podcast, and it shouldn't be a problem. Granted, I don't know. Who knows? Micah might have to hop in for me. I have no idea. But
you're listening to the Reading Between the Lines podcast with Micah.
Sorry, this has been a long intro, but it's just been a wacky kind of day. So without further ado, you want to get into some actual content instead of just me trying to humble brag?
You know what? Let's start us off with MLB talk.
Alrighty. Well, right now, actually, we're watching it behind John's shoulder. The Houston, I almost said Rockets. Houston Astros and the LA Dodgers are currently playing in the World Series.
No longer the Lastros.
Right. Oh boy, they were the Lastros for my entire childhood. As for the past series, Dodgers eliminate Cubs in 5 games, 4 games to 1. Astros eliminate the Yankees 4 games to 3. So it is now the Dodgers and the Astros
in the World Series.
In the World Series. Yesterday on the 24th of October, they played Game 1. Dallas dropped that 3-1. Dallas Keuchel for the Astros pitched really well, in my opinion. It's just that Kershaw just pitched better. Kershaw threw 7 innings,
What a performance.
1 run on just 3 hits and 11 strikeouts. I almost said knockouts.
Against a really good hitting Astros
right,
team.
for sure. Game 2 is currently underway. On the time of this recording, it just went away. I don't know what inning it was because it just disappeared on me. But it's 1-0 Astros as we are looking at it right now.
Yeah, middle of the game, so probably.
Bottom 4th? Okay. And so we will, we can't keep you posted because this is recorded. But go Stros, and I hope it goes to Game 7 because I just love drama.
Dude, I love baseball so much, and
Especially
postseason.
In the World Series, every pitch matters. Every pitching change matters. Every hit matters. It's just the drama just crescendos.
And I feel like you see players playing, a lot of them at their best,
right,
and playing,
right, for sure.
showing you the purest essence of the game is when the competition is at its highest.
And I mean, obviously you're an Astros fan, but
yes.
But one of the Dodgers, I forget his first name, but his last name's Turner. Turner?
I'm not sure.
The guy who hit the 2-run shot last night. What was his name? I think it's Turner.
Do you have that?
I know it starts with a T. But anyway, I heard a crazy stat on him today. He has one of the highest postseason batting averages in history of baseball.
Really?
Guess who? Guess he's on the list with 2 others. Can you guess the other 2?
Highest batting average?
Yeah, in the postseason.
Does it have to be someone who goes to the World Series, or can it just be?
I don't know. That's a good point. I'm not sure, but it's Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. What a list to be on.
That's ridiculous. We need to find out who hit that home run.
And as for Kershaw, this is a huge game for him because it kind of rewrote his reputation. Because coming into this game, his postseason ERA was 25, literally 25. And so to have a dominant 7 innings, I kind of wish he would have gone through 9, but they don't do that anymore. Relievers are changing the game in ways.
I'm surprised they did pull him, but they still came out with it.
Oh, for
game
sure.
1.
But other than that, I don't know a whole lot of there's not X's and O's of baseball. I don't know a whole lot of the little intricacies of baseball. I'm just a fan of the dramatic postseason. I don't know if you have anything to say about the Astros.
There's a ton of regular season games, and it's hard to keep up with them. And the Astros, most of them, unless you have the Root Sports Network package thing, they're not even on TV.
For sure.
I know for the Rangers, they're on at least like Fox Sports Southwest or something, or whatever Fox Sport nationwide thing they have. But it's really hard to follow the Astros that closely because most of their games, unless they're playing the Rangers or someone else nationally, really isn't televised. So it's hard to really keep up with them.
See, I'm a Cubs fan by heart, but once they're out, which they got knocked out by the Yankees, Yankees? Yeah, that's right. Yes, I said that. No, sorry, they got eliminated by the Dodgers. I got my divisions mixed up. But if they're out, I immediately hop on to a new Texas team. Because why not?
It's a good time to be a Texas, just general Houston sports fan.
And just the fact that they're making this run after this hurricane happened in the Houston Strong, like I don't know who it is, but some guys were wearing a Houston Strong cleats right now.
Yeah,
it's the rally cry of the city, and it's really cool to see.
Sweet. And another team that's doing well or doing better is the Texans with Deshaun Watson. So now I want you to talk about the NFL, talk about the Cowboys, and just NFL in general. Go ahead.
Well, the Cowboys beat the 49ers this last Sunday, 40-10 behind Zeke's dominant game. Zeke had 3 touchdowns, 219 yards, 140 on the ground, and on 26 carries. 1 reception was for 73 yards, I think. That math adds up right. I don't think it does, but it's fine. And it was his 1 reception was on a play similar to the one he had against the Steelers. It was kind of a design. It was a play action fake to the left, a bootleg kind of screen pass to the right, and just they relied on the blocking. So he went for 70-something yards. As for some stats, Prescott went 16 for 25 for 234 and 3 touchdowns. Receiving, Elliott had 1 for 72 is what the total was on that play. Elliott had 1 reception for 72, like I said, the same play that he had against the Steelers last year. Bryant was kind of quiet in terms of big plays, but he had a lot of efficient, nickel and diming, and just get the first down kind of plays. Not a whole lot of run after catch, but a whole lot of catching, securing the ball. He's had a problem with securing the ball recently. I think he's slightly overrated, but that's fine. Witten went 4 for 54 with 1 touchdown. Beasley went 1 for 24. A quiet day for Beasley. He's been kind of quiet recently. He was the leading receiver on the Cowboys last season because they were doing what a lot of people call the dak and dunk. The small ball. But I don't know if it's because of Zeke's dominance. He hasn't been dominant though. Zeke's been, I'm not gonna get into this podcast because it's getting too crazy for me to even keep track of. But Zeke's in this constant legal limbo, which has affected.
Honestly, don't even know what to think of it. It seems like he's gonna get suspended at some point. But it's hard.
I'm just hoping it's not towards the end of the season when they're trying to make the playoff push.
Yeah, that would be more detrimental.
The perfect time to have it would be right now. We need him because we're behind the division, behind the Eagles, and so we need him to make up that ground. But if we need to make like a 2-game push at the end of the season, I want him for that as well.
Yeah, that's tough. So you think if it happens, it's going to be during this season?
Part of me says it won't. Part of me says it'll be carried on throughout till next season. But you just never know. That appeal could drop any second.
I mean, he still has to prepare every day like he's going to play, but then you never know if he is. You know?
And as for Beasley, I touched on his lack of performance. Not a lack of performance. He's a little in and out, quirky kind of speedster. He's very shifty, so he gets a lot of attention. But he just hasn't been as dramatic this season.
Yeah, hasn't looked as explosive maybe as past seasons.
As for some defense, Anthony Hitchens had 8 total tackles. All of them were solo with 3 tackles for losses. Byron Jones had 8 total tackles, 5 of them solo. Jeff Heath, which I'll touch on him in a minute after I say this, 6 total tackles, all were solo, 1 tackle for loss. Speaking of my kicking, he actually kicked for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. Dan Bailey got hurt. He pulled his groin. I don't know what side, but he pulled his groin.
I saw some sort of celebration after he just hit a routine extra point or something.
And it was Jeff Heath. You said, I think it was a linebacker, but you said he was a safety.
Heath? I'm not sure.
He's kind of big for a safety, which makes me think he's a linebacker, but I could be wrong. But we signed. So the fact that we only had 1 kicker was startling to me. But Jeff Heath made the kicks he was assigned to.
Okay.
He kind of like me, just walked on and did it. Sorry, humble brag again.
I'm basically the Cowboys kicker now.
I'm basically Dan Bailey, no big deal. No, I'm kidding, I'm not at all. Not even the same universe as him. Anyway, but we signed a guy. I've had his name in my head all day and I'm forgetting it now. And I forget who he played for. But we signed a guy just like yesterday or something. So he'll be the kicker until Bailey gets healthy.
Kickers are actually surprisingly hard to come by, as we find out in the college rankings as well.
Jeez. As is some overall game stats, first downs, Dallas at 27, San Francisco at 23. Third down efficiency, my lip is tinkling. Sorry.
There's always something with Drew.
I'm just itching myself on not live, on recorded television, radio. It's fine. Third down efficiency, Dallas went 7 for 11. San Francisco went 6 for 13. Granted, just keep in mind, San Francisco is 0-7
They're
now.
0-7, I believe, yeah.
Drives, Dallas at 12, San Francisco at 10. Total yards, we had 501. They had 290. Rushing attempts, 43 to 22. That just shows you how much we relied on Zeke. Again, he had 26 carries of those 43.
It's a good bulk of it, too.
Penalties, which Dallas, when I was growing up, like high school or so, was very heavily penalized. Penalties were pretty hush-hush. Dallas had 5 for 36. I'm going to say the Niners because San Francisco is hard for me to say over and over and over again. The Niners went 2 for 22. The Niners had 3 turnovers. All were fumbles. Time of possession, Dallas won that by a decent margin in terms of NFL, 32-50 as opposed to 27-10. So we are sitting at 3-3. The Eagles are soaring high at 6-1, 7-0 and 6-1. I think they're 6-1.
Yeah, I don't have that record pulled up.
I do, but I haven't got to it yet. As for the rest of the NFL, some notable games. Not all these were close, but all these were very interesting scores. Raiders beat the Chiefs in a thriller, 31-30. I have 31-10, but I mistyped.
Yeah, is that the game where Crabtree gets the
winning? Crabtree got that.
So that's a Tech alum.
It was Mahomes. It was Mahomes obviously Mahomes wasn't playing, but it was Mahomes playing against DeAndre Washington and Crabtree, which was made my heart throb a little bit. Not gonna lie.
And they used DeAndre Washington as well.
They did. Oh yeah,
he got a touchdown, I believe.
33 yards, I believe he had.
Totally.
Which
Yeah.
is
And then he
kinda
got like
quiet,
a
but he got
5-yard touchdown to score.
One of the touchdowns he broke through 3 tackles and just muscled his way through.
Yeah, and because Lynch is suspended right now or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so they're relying more on those
pushing that
backups.
ref.
And it looks like he's the better backup out of
Right.
those two, just from that week at least.
That's some of the scores. The Bills beat the Bucks 30-27. I don't know what happened to the Bills, but they're decent and they're holding their head above water right now. The Bears beat the Panthers 17-3. This is the weirdest stat you'll hear all day. Actually, I hope, because if not, it's weirder than I know.
We got some weird ones.
The Bears beat the Panthers 17-3.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears had more first downs than completions.
So running the ball, but not really.
The Bears had 4 first downs and 5 completions.
You know, that's pretty pitiful.
That's freaking bizarre.
But I mean, it sounds like one of those military games, like Army or Navy.
And
or
I thought the
just
Panthers were
running the
for
ball.
real. I thought the Panthers were for real this whole time. And it's we're 6 weeks in. We're a third of the way into where you try to start pegging teams where they're at, but teams that aren't good are up in the divisions, and teams who are usually pretty good are losing to teams they shouldn't lose to. I can't really peg anybody.
Yeah, there's a lot less certainty this year for sure.
Titans beat the Browns 12-9. That was a hard game to watch. I was like watching a puppy die. It's just you want to look away, but you can't.
That hurt me to hear.
It was an overtime thriller, quote unquote, because it's the Browns. Nothing about them thrills me. But the Saints beat the Packers 26-17. I know this is our bye week podcast. Me and John had a little hiatus, or I did. I had a lot of.
I just
homework to
recapped
do.
a few stats.
This is I consider this a bye week podcast because Tech gets one, so I guess we get one too. I'm
only one all year.
I'm an entitled millennial. You can deal with it.
But he makes kicks.
You right? Just kicking it over here. But the biggest news that has dropped since we last podcast in terms of the NFL is Rodgers broke his collarbone. Can I get a hallelujah? I'm a horrible person.
Depending on which fan you are, that is either really good or really bad.
And I'm not a big sushi fan, but Packers season is a wrap.
The never-ending
life.
puns. So wait, so there's some sort of debate about whether that hit was clean or dirty on him. I saw it.
If you slow it down, anything looks dirty.
I saw it and I was like, that is not a dirty hit. There was no malicious intent to hurt him, and even with the way it landed, if you would have told me he was fine, I would have believed that too. Of course, until you see him on the ground.
You can have me like, I don't know what to compare this to. You can have me grazing somebody on the sidewalk walking by them, and if you can slow down enough, you can get some malicious.
Just getting there a split second late looks like a really long time.
I mean, I heard some radio talk, and a lot of the former linebackers and former defensive end rushers were like, it happens so fast. You're not thinking, oh, I want to drive this guy into the ground and break him. You don't think about that. You're just thinking about the hit. You don't think about
no one
how
thinks I'm not gonna hurt you.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
No one is. No
one thinks either way.
It's twofold. No one thinks about ways to hurt you, and no one thinks about hurting you when they're hitting you.
Yeah, it's not like you're trying not to hurt the person, but you're just trying to make a play.
Right, for sure.
And I can't blame him for that. And so a lot of people that are angry, I think that's not unwarranted in my opinion.
I think the Packers season is done without Rodgers. I think they're gonna go 7-9, which in NFC probably won't make the wild card.
We'll see, because I remember after Brett Favre was gone, and they were like, well, we don't know if we have another quarterback, and he stepped on the scene. So
as for some other scores, the Jags beat the Colts 27-0. The Colts are horrible, and that's being kind. The Jags had 10 sacks.
Are they still? Sorry, are the Colts still without 10? That's
sorry. I don't know why I echoed that, but yeah.
The Jags had 10 sacks.
The Jags had 10 sacks.
Dude, their defense has been kicking butt. Okay,
I think they're one of those teams where people are always like, okay, it's the Jags. They can't really be for real.
So I'm assuming Andrew Luck is still gone.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Okay.
I haven't heard a word from him.
Yeah, it seems like
them.
Well, I mean, if he's truly your franchise, which it does
Right.
definitely look like that, why would you try to bring him back in, risk hurting him again? Really?
Let's see what we got here. Rams beat the Cardinals 33-0. The Rams are for real. I'm telling you right now, Jared Goff was this close. You can't see on the radio, but
Very close.
This close to being the biggest bust of the recent history of the NFL.
Yeah, people were calling for his head already.
And honestly, Sean McVay is their head coach. They better sign that dude to a lifetime contract.
You know what? Like
because he's pulling something out of the fire.
People use that excuse. Well, if you have a young head coach, then you know what? Then you're probably going to struggle really badly.
Right.
And he's proven that, breaking that mold in an NFL way,
for sure. which is hard.
Incredible.
Dolphins beat the Jets 31-28. It was kind of a trash game, but the Dolphins came back from 14 down in the fourth quarter without the starting QB. Jay Cutler broke a few ribs. I don't know if it was broken or fractured. I get that's kind of the same thing in terms of ribs, but he hurt ribs nonetheless. Matt Moore is now the QB. Seahawks beat the Giants 24-7. If the Giants had any glimmer of hope, it is now gone. Steelers beat the Bengals 29-14. This begs the question, John, how much longer does Big Ben have? He's winning games.
You know, it's really hard to tell.
Right.
Because a lot of it comes down to mental at that point. When you've been in the league that long and you see the guys that know that it's their time and know that, or those that are willing to fight again. And we're I guess the jury's still out on that one.
Chargers beat the Broncos 21-0. Just a little thing from that. Joey Bosa is a beast. He dominated the entire O-line. Patriots beat the Falcons 23-7, and that was not just a third quarter score. Boom. Super Bowl jokes. It's fine. Eagles beat the Redskins 34-24. If I haven't said already, the Eagles are for real. But are they getting too hot too early? It's one thing to be good 7 weeks in the season, but it's another one to be good in December, January, February.
Yeah, 6 weeks into the season versus 8, if you know
this
what I'm
is
talking about.
This is kind of what... Who was the team of last year? It was the Eagles also. The Eagles started 5-0. And then they went...
Or Baylor last year, if we're going to talk college.
Oh, God.
Man, that
was savage.
That is the losing streak of the year.
That was savage.
And I'm talking about, like, the whole year.
They're losing. They've lost 13 straight.
Since January.
Yeah.
And then further back.
Because they won that bowl game.
They did win a bowl game, but regular season...
They've lost 13 regular season games.
Yeah, I need to check. It's double digits, and it is pitiful.
As for some divisional standings, and I got some thoughts on all these.
Yeah.
AFC East, Patriots are 5-2, followed by the Bills at 4-2, and the Dolphins at 4-2, and the Jets at 3-4. This division is much more competitive than anyone ever thought it'd be. I think the Patriots are going to pull it out because Tom Brady. But don't sleep on the Bills. I haven't watched them much because they're obviously I don't get them regionally in my area or in our area.
Okay.
But they have a good team. AFC West, Chiefs are 5-2, Broncos are 3-3, followed by the Chargers at 3-4, with the Raiders at 3-4 as well. Chiefs are the clear leader, but watch out for the Raiders now that they have Derek Carr. Not Derek Carr. Yeah, it was. I wrote down David. So. I meant Derek. Yes. Yeah. They have Derek Carr back. So watch out for them. They're going to serve. I'm calling it right now.
That's a good team with him as quarterback.
AFC North, Steelers are 5-2, Ravens are 3-4, followed by the Bengals at 2-4, and the Browns at 0-7. You might as well call the Browns the Baylor. Steelers are the class of the division, but there's like a little three-way paradox. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but it's fine.
Explain what's happening.
Between the Steelers, the Chiefs, and the Patriots. In terms of the AFC contenders for the Super Bowl, because they're all three up there every year. Because people are saying right now that the Chiefs have the Patriots number, the Patriots have the Steelers number, and the Steelers have the Chiefs number. So it's kind of like a little love triangle, except a hate triangle.
I feel like we'll get to college in a minute, but I feel like the Big 12 has had a lot of that as well.
Right, for sure.
A lot of that. Anyone could beat anyone any given week.
As for the AFC South, the Titans are 4-3, followed by the Jags at 4-3 as well, and the Texans are 3-3, and Colts are 2-5.
I'll take it.
This is going to be a very interesting division. Big questions here: can the Texans stay in with the rookie QB? I think yes. It's just a matter of I don't know what to expect because there's no expectations. It's hard to expect something from a rookie quarterback.
The sample size is still small enough to where people might not know how to game plan properly for him, so he might still be effective. We'll see. Of course, I hope that he is the long-term solution. So a lot of people in Houston have their hopes up for that guy.
As for some of the questions in the division, are the Jazz going to stay good all season? They have a dominant defense. It's just a matter of can they score enough points with Blake Bortles at the helm. And what are the Titans? I haven't watched much of Mariota, or should I say Mariota, as some people refer to him as.
It seems like their defense has struggled from what I've seen.
Right. They're kind of like they're just wallowing in mediocrity, which is kind of how Tech is right now.
Yeah,
Fine.
we need to get there.
Keep
going.
NFC East. Eagles are 6-1. Cowboys and Redskins are 3-3, and Giants are 1-6. Eagles are the team to beat, but with Zeke, will the Cowboys get back to last year's dominance? Are the Redskins going to make a push as well? I think they're not going to. And then there's a big game this weekend because the Cowboys play the Redskins.
Good rivalry.
As for the NFC West, the Rams are leading it at 5-2. Like I said, Goff was thought to be the biggest bust in recent history. And behind them is the Seahawks at 4-2. Seahawks are still inconsistent. Wilson is carrying the team without an O-line. They preyed on a bad Giants team, but don't think too much into that. Giants are terrible. As for the NFC North, I think the Lions will take this division. They're currently sitting third at 3-3, but the Vikings are holding it for now at 5-2. Packers are 4-3, but will probably finish 7-9 or 8-8 without Rodgers. The reports are that Rodgers could be throwing in 6 weeks, but collarbones are complicated.
That would be pretty impressive,
right.
though.
Believe me, I've lived through collarbones all my life with Romo. They are not timelines are never accurate.
Yeah, that's a fragile injury too.
Bears are winning contrary to people's expectations, but I don't think they can hold their head above water all season long. On the bright side, Mitch Trubisky looks pretty good. He just can't hold up a bad team by himself.
Yeah, he's a guy that going forward, it looks like there's a lot of upside for him.
As for and one more for you, NFC South, the Saints are at 4-2, followed by the Panthers at 4-3. Falcons are 3-3, and Bucks are 2-4. Honestly, I don't even know what's going on here. The Saints are known to be good early, but fall out later in the season. Panthers look good, but then they lose to the Bears. What is that? The Falcons have potential clearly, but they are just having a hard time putting it all together. And I was surprised the Bucs are so bad. I thought Winston was going to have a breakout season. I really did.
Yeah, he definitely looked promising.
And after we're going into Week 8, I don't have any key games for Week 8 of the NFL. I totally blanked on that. But after Week 8, I'll start forming a little bit of a playoff picture because we'll be halfway through the season. So I'll kind of start seeing who's a contender and who's not, even though it's hard to tell right now, honestly.
Cool. And I'll react to those takes as well.
But anyway, that's all I have for NFL.
All right, sweet. All right, it is time for the wild and wacky world of NCAA football.
Oh, goodness. Well, let's start out with...
We'll do the rankings.
The AP Top 10. Bama, Penn State, Georgia. This is from 1 to 10, obviously. Bama, Penn State, Georgia, TCU, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Clemson, Miami, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma. The only major moves, OU went down 1 from 9 to 10, and Notre Dame went up 4.
Notre Dame jumped pretty. And look, a lot of people were talking about how Notre Dame has the potential if they win out to. I mean, if they win out, there's a good chance that they're going to be in the playoffs.
Against USC, they took them out to the woodshed, put them to sleep. That was a weird.
They did destroy them. Made it look easy.
As for some other notable rankings, Oklahoma State is sitting there at 11. Washington is sitting there at 12, with Virginia Tech behind them at 13. Virginia Tech is not going to make a playoff push, but they're a good team in terms of who might be on their schedule that they can knock off. Washington State is 15. Mike Leach, shout out. We'll talk about him a little bit with as far as Texas Tech goes and his affiliations with them. That's a long story, but I'll briefly touch on that later. Michigan State's at 16. Auburn at 19. USC at 21. West Virginia at 22, and our favorite people in the world, Iowa State at 25.
Dude, I think, was that 5 Big 12 teams ranked? We got TCU at 4, OU at 10, OSU at 11, West Virginia at 22nd, Iowa State at 25.
Good Lord.
That is 5 Big 12 teams in the top 25.
And the only person I'd say to watch out for is Michigan State at 16, because they already beat Michigan at home.
They look like they're getting better. Game by game too.
They still have to play. They still get to play Penn State and Ohio State. So if they play their best ball in November, they could make some real noise.
Yeah, then it would just mess up everything.
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
It would be chaos. And
I love chaos.
It'd be really cool to see, actually. Cool. Yeah. So after seeing those 5 teams in the top 25 from the Big 12, I wanted to talk about Tech real quick because I like talking about the CBS 1 through 130 poll just because it has every team, right? Tech moves from 34th to 52nd, down 18 after this game.
Which you know what?
I'm not even sure if that's an overreaction.
I'm upset, obviously, because we've lost 2 straight now. But if you told me we'd be in the 50s at the beginning of the season, I'll take that all day long.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, if you take the recruiting directly, you get
Right.
the 40th ranked recruiting class or
Right.
38th ranked recruiting
I mean,
class.
it's funny because somehow Tech is always mediocre, but they always find a way to build our hopes up and then crush them. Like, why do we? And okay, I'm gonna step off my soapbox for now.
It's been an emotional
yes, 2
week
weeks.
with this game, in 2 weeks especially. Yeah.
But you want to touch on some scores from last week, or do you want me to do that? I have them right here. If you don't.
Yeah, just run through your scores, and then here we go. This is college football interesting games last weekend. And yeah, you run through and I'll check.
Oh, goodness. Well,
see
to
if I
start
have
off
them.
with the Big 12, TCU over Kansas, 43-0.
Kansas has been shut out twice. They've been outscored by 134 points in their last 3 games.
Kansas had 22 yards of
Man.
total offense.
That sucks.
Did you hear that?
That's the one team in the Big 12. When's the last time someone's
Dude,
been held
you hear what I
there?
just said? You didn't have a reaction.
22.
22
Yeah, I
points.
did see that.
22
I did see
yards,
that.
sorry.
And I mean, it's so shocking, but at the same time, that's the one. Everyone else is competitive
Right.
in our whole conference, and then there's
That's-
Kansas.
The previous record for the lowest yards in a Big 12 game was
Okay.
44.
So
They broke the record. They
broke the record
They were
by
in the negatives
22. Okay.
until like 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It was
Wow.
sad.
So, yeah, I saw some stat that was like ridiculously old. How long it's been
Right.
since that's happened before, and that means there's a lot of negative plays.
For sure.
If those yards are
It's sad to watch Kansas.
Yeah.
As for some other scores, Oklahoma over Kansas State, 42-35. I was watching this game and I go, I hope and pray that Oklahoma season ends right here. I want all their national championship aspirations to be squashed, but yet they somehow escaped. And I think most of that was because Kansas got up quick early, and they just didn't have the gas to finish the game.
Yeah, so K-State was up, and then OU came back, tied it, scored
Right.
it, had the dagger with 16 seconds left.
Jeez.
And you know what? Those running backs are so much a part of that offense. Like, coming out of the backfield, doing those little
Right.
wheel routes or
It's
whatever
really
they
obnoxious.
And it makes that completion percentage and yards look so good.
Right.
too.
For Mr. Heisman. Oklahoma State over
That was
Texas.
probably warranted, actually. Yeah.
Right.
For only one person.
As for some other scores, Oklahoma State over Texas in overtime, 13-10.
Wow. I feel like Texas's defense is really good.
But
But I also
gotta
feel like
be.
they have the problem that if their defense is really good, their offense is equally bad almost.
I-
It's kind of like they're matching it, which is really sad.
I kind of want Oklahoma State to lose, but I never want Texas to win. So you know what? It was kind of like I
mean-
don't care what happens. Just throw them on the field and see what happens.
I think in the last 10 years, like the last 5 games at Texas, they've won every game. Oklahoma State's
Jeez.
won every game there. So that's having your number.
As for some surprising ones, West Virginia over Baylor, 38-36. I don't know if you saw any highlights, but
Yeah,
Baylor,
they held on.
Baylor
but-
almost completed a furious comeback. I don't have much of the stats of like how much they were downwind, but boy, that was closer than I thought it'd be.
How much did that remind you of the Patrick Mahomes 2014, like his first start against Baylor? Losing by 2
yep.
with the 2-point conversion failed at the end with a
Now,
was
John,
sack?
say it with me. Baylor's now 0-7. Bless.
I just hope that keeps going. But they did try out a new quarterback, and it seems like he's doing much better, which is a little bit scary.
Maybe I can make the quarterback on Baylor now. It's fine.
You can maybe make it at Kansas. We'll see.
Right.
They want basketball.
That's for for the last score. Again, we'll touch on this here soon. Iowa State over Texas Tech, 31-13. There's plenty to say about this one. But yeah, we'll save that. As for some non-Big 12 scores,
Iowa State did become ranked. So
right. Penn State over Michigan, 42-13. Penn State made a statement big time.
they white out that stadium so well.
I love this. I love seeing that.
That's really cool.
That's one of my bucket list games to go to, a whiteout there, because boy, they were rocking.
Yeah, and they beat them 42-13,
Right.
dominating Michigan, who was ranked 19 at the time.
Right. Miami over Syracuse, 27-19. Syracuse tried to pull off another upset, but fell short. Miami is for real. Notre Dame
Yeah.
over USC. Sorry, something in my throat.
Notre Dame makes it look easy.
Yes, very easy. Sam Darling is now Sam
Normal.
Noble.
So, man, Notre Dame is really looking like contenders after
Oh, yeah.
going up 49-14, I believe was the final
Yep.
score in that game. And, Man, they look good.
Virginia Tech over UNC, University of North Carolina, 59-7.
Yeah.
Nothing special about this one. It's just that USC really misses Mitch Trubisky. Washington State over
UNC,
Colorado, 20-0. Michigan State over Indiana, 17-9. Despite its close score, Michigan State is good. They just every game they have, is a defensive game. They're a good team. They just slow you down.
14 fourth quarter points. They beat Indiana 17-9.
And I would touch on this briefly earlier, but Michigan State can make some serious noise because they already beat. They're 6-1. They already or 7-1 after that game. I think it's 6-1. They already beat Michigan at home, and they still got to play Penn State and Ohio State. I don't know if that's home or away, but they play two very highly ranked teams for a team that's heating up and playing their best ball right now.
Yeah, cool. Do you have any more? I have a few more.
That's it for me.
So Memphis, they're number 25. They came back and defeated Houston. I thought Houston had that game. It was a Friday night, I believe, game. 42-38. They had 21 fourth quarter points, but they were down 17-0 at the half. And so Memphis is really showing that fight. And remember, I said last podcast 2 weeks ago that Memphis, man, they play hard,
and
hard-headed football.
Not that the strength of victory means much now that we're 4-3, but that makes the Houston win look a little bit more. Oh, home run! Yes. Oh, home run Dodgers. I forgot who was.
Tie game. 1-1. Anyway.
Pardon our interruption. We just don't care enough. Sorry.
That's why it's unedited.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was going to go on notable games of next week, but I don't know if you were done yet.
Cool. A few others, other than the Memphis game. UCF, Central Florida, beat Navy 31-21. They're out to 6-0 start. So that's pretty. For a second, I thought Charlie Strong was their coach, but then I found USF, not UCF, is Charlie Strong.
Yeah.
And Charlie Strong holds on to defeat Tulane. They're 7-0 on the season.
Now you said that was Navy who they beat?
Sorry. So UCF, the Knights, beat Navy 31-21. And USF, I don't know. Those I get confused.
Right.
But Charlie Strong's team, they're 7-0. He couldn't do that at Texas.
7-0
with some of the best recruiting classes. He had a 5-7 season. But at this school, he's 7-0.
Kicking
butt.
Speaking of Navy, actually it's not Navy at all. Speaking of Navy, I was going to go say something about Army because, military.
Yeah.
I blanked. Okay.
Air Force good.
Army
too, yeah,
Army won last week's game without a single pass attempt.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, man, they have more, like you were saying about the Bears or something. There's more touchdowns probably they scored than pass attempts.
It's sad. But that's
cool.
all. That's all I have for you. You want to move on to interesting games, Week 9?
Yeah. So we're coming up on Week 9, and this is interesting games this weekend.
So let's play a little spread game, John.
Okay.
Either
I'll see if I have these games on my list too, and then I do not have the spreads yet, so I'm reacting purely on what you're saying.
Just how I like it. That was weird. Oklahoma State at not Washington State. Is this a typo? It is a typo. That's actually West Virginia. I'm sorry. I typed in WSU, but it's WVU.
Okay, West
Oklahoma
Virginia.
State is a 7-point favorite.
7-point favorite. It's 11 a.m. and they're at West Virginia?
Yes.
Okay, well, last time West Virginia had a really slow start in the 11 a.m. game, of course, against Tech. You know what? I'm gonna go with Oklahoma State.
More cover or no?
Yeah, cover.
Cover. I agree with you there. I would say 10. Texas at Baylor. Texas is only an 8-point favorite.
Only 8.
8.
They're on ESPN. It's another 11 a.m. game.
Shows you how inconsistent even ESPN thinks Texas is.
Yeah, that's a tough game. So it's an 8-point spread for Texas.
Would it be so funny if Baylor's only win was against Texas?
That would be so
I
weird.
would laugh. I don't even know who to root for anymore. That'd be so funny.
They lose to Kansas but beat Texas in a reverse Kansas last year. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to say Texas covers because Baylor can't score hardly any against their defense.
I'm going to say Texas wins but doesn't cover.
Okay. I mean, I could see that with the low-scoring games that they've had recently as well.
Kansas State at Kansas.
What's the spread?
State
I'll take it.
Is a negative 24.5 favorite.
Only 24? Kansas hasn't scored a point in almost 3 games. No, for real. Like, you tell me Kansas State's not going to score 30
You hardly see a line
points.
over 30, though. You really do.
I know. But, I mean, 24 and a half?
Especially, I don't know what the line was for the TCU game, but they just got beat by 43 also.
Yeah, they've lost their last 2 games, 43, 45, 46, I think.
There isn't enough water in the world for them to cry.
So I'm definitely taking Kansas State on that one, and
Perfect.
I would be shocked, honestly, if they don't win by at least 24.
Here's an interesting one. TCU at Iowa State. TCU is a 6.5-point favorite.
6.5.
That might be one of the most intriguing games of the weekend, honestly.
That-
Because Iowa State's coming in just nothing but momentum, pure momentum.
Man, just hearing that, I don't even know. I think there's a potential for both. I'm gonna say what? I'm gonna say this. Here's my prediction. I say that TCU wins and doesn't cover.
See, I've told for those of y'all, do we have the video going?
Yes.
Okay, I
Should
wasn't
be.
sure. Mike over here, y'all can't hear on the podcast, but Mike over here is our stalker extraordinaire. He just tagged along with us. He is a TCU homer.
It really, with the way their season has gone so
Right.
far, it's tough to say.
I have told us several times TCU is not getting out of this conference undefeated.
I expect that game.
No, you're down your head. They're not getting out of this conference undefeated. They're still gonna play Oklahoma and us. We're gonna beat them at home. Oh, hot take. It's fine.
At our home, so
Right.
anything can happen.
Bring them to the Holly.
Night game, please.
Jeez, if it's fine. It might as well be 7 a.m. Anyway, I'm gonna get on my soapbox, and that's for a later date.
All right, so
where
yeah,
are we?
that's a bold prediction as well. So saying TCU goes undefeated is bold, and also saying that they lose.
I think
It's a low scoring game.
I think they win, but they don't cover against Iowa State.
I agree with you on that one. And so, yeah, I'm gonna say it's a really low scoring game.
Iowa State's defense is for real.
And so it's going to come down to probably either special teams or like a defensive touchdown or something will probably win this game.
Right.
It's going to be very low scoring. I mean, we're both saying that, but it's possible that someone has a breakout game.
Right.
But it would have to be in the run game.
And
In my opinion.
for some other notable games, Miami is at UNC. And before I give you the line, it's interesting. Last week, UNC went to Miami, so they're playing each other back to back, just at each other's homes. It's weird.
Okay, because that's the way
Yeah.
they, for some reason, set it up.
Miami's a 20.5-point favorite. Sorry, I wrote this down just because it was interesting how they're playing each other back-to-back weeks, but
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be a blowout. I mean, let's be honest. Actually, no. I'm going to not take the spread. Miami's going to win, but I'm not taking the spread.
Okay. Just to be different, I'm going to take the spread. But both of us definitely have UNC, 1-7 or whatever they are.
Something like that.
Very,
Miami will be undefeated still.
very tough. Yeah, I'll take that.
And as for it's not the night game, but as for the marquee game of Week 9, we got Penn State at Ohio State. Ohio State is a negative,
They're-
minus 6.5-point favorite.
So Ohio State's the favorite?
I'm taking
'Cause
Penn
they're at-
State all the way.
They're
straight up.
at Ohio State?
Yeah, I'm taking Penn State all the way.
I don't know how they can.
It's gonna be close, but I think Penn State's gonna win.
This is a toss up in my head. You could rock paper scissors and you'd be able to predict it, in my opinion, better than you could guessing. Like,
That's a hard place to play. That place holds 110,000 people.
yeah.
But Saquon Barkley is gonna go off. He is the Heisman favorite.
Yeah. Cool.
Let's see. Other
You just give me
notable
you can
games.
just give me a game and I can give you an answer for that, and then we'll move on to the next one.
We got Michigan State at Northwestern. Michigan State's only a 2-point favorite.
Michigan State, I'll take them.
That's a low spread. That's the only reason why I
Yeah, I'll
wrote
take
that
it.
down. And then we got the last one on mine is we got Washington State at Arizona. Washington State is a
Yeah,
only
Arizona's
only
5-2.
3-point favorite.
It's a later night game. Arizona is who's favored?
Sorry, not Arizona. Washington State by 3.
Washington State is favored by 3.
I'm
Yeah,
taking that spread. Screw that.
yeah, me too. Okay, good.
Other than
Anything
that,
else?
I'm good to go.
You're an idiot.
Oh, that was an accident.
No, I'm a kicker. There's a difference. Ooh, jokes.
All right, this is Miscellaneous Tech Facts. And I'll try to speed this up a little bit. This is just general stuff I have for Tech. Through essentially a little over half the season, Nick Shimanek has 18 touchdowns, 2,341 yards, QBR 73.3, which is higher than I think with the way that our offense has quote-unquote
Right.
struggled from
Gee.
Tech's perspective. Stockton leads the team 495 rushing yards and has 4 touchdowns. QD is still somehow putting up good numbers. 7 even when they are dropping 8 against
Right.
us. 744 yards with 6 touchdowns on 53 catches. Tech averages 40.3 points a game, which dropped them not too far as I thought they might go. 14th nationally, down from 4th last week. Tech is ranked 7th nationally in passing yards with 351.9 per game, so that's pretty good passing offense still. Rushing offense is ranked 65th with 162.1 yards per game, which is a whole lot better, I believe, than last year. Their defense allowing 30.9 points per game, which is 94th, and 30.9 looks a lot better than, 44 last year that we had?
Jeez, yeah.
So the defense has definitely improved, and especially on rush defense. They've looked really good. Check this out. Tech's 3 losses are now all ranked teams.
Hey,
So
okay.
if you're gonna look
Okay.
at the bright side of life, this is the way to do it. Okay, so
what is that song?
On the bright side of life.
I don't know the tune. It's fine.
always look on the bright side of life. So that's what I'm doing here. So OSU is ranked at 11, West Virginia at 22, and of course Iowa State is now ranked at 25. And I really thought that the winner of this game was going to be ranked between Tech and
Right.
Iowa State. Both of us had those votes.
So, I know. Last week's our bye week. So we were 2 games behind here, or I guess just one, because we were gonna recap Iowa State this week. But go ahead. Yeah, do that. Go ahead and do that.
All right, so this is a video.
This time
Listen up.
intercepted and going the other way. Justice Parker with a move. And the opening drive for Iowa State results in an interception, something that
All right, so that was the interception by Justice Parker, no relation to our own Drew Parker, and probably one of the only highlights that I could find from this game. Happened real early, made it feel like Tech was going to
He's
have
a
this.
breakout player.
It made it feel like this Tech is going to have this game easy, and then of course,
Tech happens.
yeah, and then we came out flatter than week-old soda. So
Ooh, flatter than my driver's side tire. It's fine.
you might need to get that fixed if that was the case, because
Maybe.
they came out really flat. So just real quick, just give me a general overview of the West Virginia, how you feel real quick. Give me like a 10, 15 second how you feel about that, and then we'll get into the
You
stuff from
can't-
Iowa State.
If you're ahead by 18 with nine a chance to go in third quarter, you shouldn't lose.
I agree.
We had a 96.3% chance to win at one point in the game, and we lost.
It was so bad that Drew didn't even come back for a podcast.
I think
it hurt.
Right as we thought we were taking two or three steps forward with a big road win, we took a step back, and then we took 2 more steps back with Iowa State. So that's I don't know what else to say. If it was my choice, I would burn Iowa State out of our memory,
Out of the record books and out of everything.
and read more into West Virginia, because I think Iowa State was just a trash game. We would just play flat. That is not. I don't think that's a team that we are at all.
Oh, for sure. And like, just flush it.
Right.
It's done. And so I'm gonna call this game, and I feel the same about West Virginia. First of all, that we played 3 quarters, and hockey
Right.
has 3 periods, but there's 4, and we had to play all 4. And
This ain't no
something
hockey.
just happened. Something just clicked for West Virginia, and something just fell apart for Tech. And that's
Right.
just what it is. In every comeback, there's always, in my opinion, there's always both. There's always a meltdown, and there's always a complete dominance
Right.
to come back.
And I mean, if you haven't already had a humble brag for me, I had to say that my score prediction was almost perfect, except the teams were flops.
Really?
I had 35-45, and it was 46-35. I just had the wrong teams winning.
Okay.
Humble brag. It's fine.
Cool. Yeah, I totally didn't even look back at those now. So, Iowa State game. I am calling this game the curse of the Goodyear blimp.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It loomed over our season. It loomed over that
was
game. The
bad.
shadow was cast, and for some reason, we just fell apart. We didn't play football.
Well, the
It
curse of
looked like.
Barton.
I'm gonna make a pun because Drew loves puns, and I'm gonna call it the bad year blimp.
Let's go.
I knew you'd like
I
that.
wasn't ready for that. I don't know how I didn't think of that.
Thanks.
It's fine. Oh, that's fantastic.
All right, and so I'm just gonna run through some stats real quick. Iowa State wins 31-13 in a game where Tech was just terrible. 11 a.m. games seem to have taken their toll. Shimanek,
Oh, I can't stand that.
I think for the
Jeez.
first game this season, he has 0 touchdowns,
Yep.
1 interception in the game. Second half, West Virginia. Oh gosh.
Oh,
okay.
it's our first
That's
game
exactly
without,
the same thing.
It's our first game without passing touchdowns since 2014.
Yeah, and I mean that's exactly what he did in the second half against West Virginia when they made those alterations to their defense.
Right.
We had 207 total passing yards. His QBR was 48.6, which is just not good for especially in the Big 12. He did rush for a touchdown. Whatever. That's just all I can
Right.
say about Shimanek. Kyle Kempt.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Kyle Kempt had 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, QBR of 83.6. Really didn't look that good, but he just kind of kept putting together drives. And 6 yards per pass. Tech had 5 yards per attempt passing, but really didn't look like they attempted to pass it very often. There's a whole mixture of fan emotions on that one. Should we pass more? Should we go deep? Should we run more? Force that?
Cliff
It's hard to tell.
didn't seem to have any confidence in Shimanek. I'm not saying he's gonna be benched, but gosh, I know Carter's our backup right now.
The
I
lefty.
always forget his first name.
McLean Carter, the
McLean
lefty.
Carter. But I would love to see Jet Duffy trotting out there on Saturday. I mean,
It's hard to tell if it would just be a change or if it would be better.
I
at this
get
point.
it in a loss. Like I saw one of your comments on Viva the Matador. It was like, why does the backup QB always get popular when we lose? I'm not saying I'm calling for Simonek's job, but there was a clear lack of trust going downfield. Clear as day.
And I mean, Shimanek plays the scheme. Like, he does exactly what they give to him, and he never takes chances. What you take Mahomes, and he'd throw it into double coverage sometimes, and sometimes that comes out with a big play. And I felt like this game almost needed that. It almost needed us to take a few chances.
What do you see as the biggest hurdle for our offense right now? Because Cliff said in the post game conference, press conference, that in his mind, Shimanek didn't struggle.
I mean, if you look at his stats, he didn't look like, as far as other than the touchdown ratio. I mean, he was pretty efficient, didn't do anything great, but they didn't really give him anything, And so that's kind of what I think, that he did exactly what the defense expected him to do.
Right.
And that's why we weren't very effective, because he didn't take those chances. And just to answer your question a second ago, the biggest threat to our offense right now is the opponent's red zone. Once we get there, for some reason, the brakes are tapped and something happens where our mentality changes. I mean, man, we struggled as a team, and I have a lot of stats about, if there's any offensive player that you could say deserves anything, it's Trey King.
Yes, Trey King is one of the few bright sides.
He fought, and he looked like the only running back that had a similar
he put some defenders in the spin cycle. Holy cow!
That spin move's good, and I think he should keep trying it. And that was the only thing that was getting the defenders to miss.
As for the run game, I even have this highlight on my sheet. Nisby and Stockton were a complete non-factor. Nisby had a touchdown, but they weren't.
Yeah, Stockton, I believe, was injured with a head injury when he did fumble. I think, they're going to concussion protocol
brings
for
up
that.
Another point. We lost the turnover battle.
First time this season.
Two back-to-back fumbles, and then the nail in the coffin was that pick six. Because, I mean, not that we would have won, but that last drive where we had that pick six was like I can't believe we have a chance, but we have a chance kind of drive. It was... in
three
defense,
fumbles sucks.
In defense, I just hit my head. What am I trying to say?
Yeah, what are you saying?
For the West Virginia game, nobody had West Virginia as a win going in, and you know what? The reason why I'm not giving away my predictions yet, but the reason why you have to hold out hope for OU this week is because the classic Tech is to lose to a team you're not supposed to lose, Iowa State, and beat a team you have no business beating. That is
classic Tech.
Nothing this season has been classic Tech, quote unquote. That'll be in but has been our persona for years now.
Yeah, and I mean, you take Ryan Smith, the guy that writes for Viva the Matadors. He said we match up better with OU, and I don't know specifically what he's talking about. Maybe it's just schematically. Maybe the OU will change to try to fit that same style. We don't know yet. But on paper, it seems like Tech has just a better matchup.
So on the scale of 1 to 10, how much does the Iowa State game plant Cliff on the hot seat?
I think after another week, it's not going to be as big. But it was one of those games that people see the name Iowa State and they're like, well, we should win that one.
They're a good team. They're a solid team.
They are surprisingly, really, really playing much better than I expected they would ever play in the next few years.
Nobody ever thought they were going to be ranked.
No one thought that they'd be ranked, which is the first time in like 20 years or something. It's like
no idea.
For a long time. It's the first time they've been ranked in a long time. And so when you hear that name, it's like imagine in 5 years if Kansas starts beating some people. People are
Right.
like, they lost to Kansas. Other
Right,
than,
exactly.
Of course,
Like
a fluke victory.
There's
once
always a
in while.
turnaround at some point in the program.
Yeah, and so this is a moment where it looks like they are just putting it together.
Right.
They're a team who plays unselfish, plays together, plays for each other, and that goes a long way.
And I mean, John touched on it. The Big 12 is a gauntlet. Besides TCU, who's obviously the only undefeated team, not everybody has beat each other, but everybody has shown the potential to be able to beat each other.
Yeah, Bart, like without Kansas, the rest of the conference is
Right.
very balanced.
Oh, and
very.
Well, no, Baylor even
given-
almost beat West Virginia.
I mean, any given day.
Right.
Yeah, Baylor, even though they've been losing, they've put up a few close
right,
fights.
which scares me about us, but it's fine.
Our long on the day was 14 yards on a rushing attempt and 20 yards on a reception. We didn't hardly try to stretch the
yeah,
field.
we got to get downfield more.
Of course, we had the 3 fumbles. If your name starts with an M, Matthew or Michael, you shouldn't be the kicker for Tech this year. We have Barden, we have Uton, and Cluck. So I'm calling that out. Maybe if your name starts with a different letter, say D as in Drew Parker, or Clayton Hatfield if he were to get
yes,
there
yeah, you know what?
as well.
I will bow down and worship Clayton Hatfield if he comes back. Just
Man,
take my spot.
It's
no
something
questions
people have taken for granted, and
Oh,
then when
absolutely.
it's gone, man,
I miss
you
it
see it. It
so
hurts.
much.
It hurts so much. Man, Iowa State outgained Tech 400 yards to 336 yards. Getting outgained by Iowa State's tough. They had 20 first downs. Tech did have 24. Iowa State was 8 for 16 on third down. Tech was 9 for 17, which if you see that, you're like, what the heck? We were
Right.
9 for 17 on third down. But,
Now,
man, we just couldn't keep it going. 1 for 3 on fourth down.
Did you ever write down a penalty total?
Let me see. I have it somewhere.
Iowa State we had 3 for 30. Iowa State wasn't penalized once.
Yeah.
Not
You
once.
Here's my theory on that, and I'm just going to keep it real short. We didn't play inspired enough football
Yeah.
to draw many
Okay,
penalties.
that's true.
And also, they didn't have to. They didn't have to do
Right.
anything because we were kicking ourselves. They didn't need to.
Right.
There was so much less pressure on them because we kept doing it to ourselves, you know?
Right.
And so that's my theory for such few penalties in the game. Man, I really want to see Tech attempt to stretch the field, take some chances.
You're gonna have to against OU. You're gonna have to.
I mean,
At
you
some
really have
point.
nothing to lose. People don't expect anything good out of this game.
You don't have to have that be your whole game plan, but you have to do it at some point to keep those linebackers honest.
And I think a few times these little screen passes have resulted in these ridiculous interception returns. This one, the dagger in this game, was a 61-yard pick six. Sophomore linebacker Marcel Spears Jr. takes the pass to the house, and that was the moment where the whole crowd knew for the first time, man,
Yeah,
we don't have this
half
one.
the students left.
There- yeah, where
90%
people-
of them left.
And do you have anything else to say before I wrap this up?
I think that's it for me. I'm ready to. I'm ready. Like I said, I want to put this behind me. Turn the page. Focus on. Now I'm not saying we're gonna win OU, but focus on the future, not the past, because that was bad. That was not rad. I almost said rad. That was bad.
Okay, so here's my full summary, just a sentence to summarize this. Okay, people are now calling for Cliff Kingsbury's head, McLean Carter's arm, and Clayton Hatfield's leg right about now, and we can add Drew Parker to that equation.
Right
We'll
about
see.
now, the Bucks. So brother, it's fine.
So yeah, that's what it is, man. There's a lot of angry fans,
I like that
a lot
little
of
rundown. I'm a fan
yeah.
of that, John.
I really
Props to
think that was
you.
pretty cool. Anyway, start tooting my own horn here. Okay, so this is reviewing rapid fire questions from last week.
You are a huge nerd.
Okay, well I didn't do rapid fire. I didn't do over unders, but I did have a few keys to the game.
Okay.
So keys to the game. Fast start, we definitely did not. We did get, six.
We had that pick. We had that interception early on. But
We
that
did
was
get
really it.
6 in that first quarter, which you can argue that because we started with the ball inside
Right.
the 10-yard line or whatever, that it made it really easy
Right.
to score. Prevent defense, I said don't play prevent defense. We didn't blitz a lot, and they just kind of
Yeah,
tore us up
right. Mm-hmm.
slowly as the game went on. I feel like it was almost like the momentum dictated. Like if we were to attempt, I feel like the people wouldn't be giving it their all.
Death by a thousand
on,
cuts. Yeah.
And so it was almost as if David Gibbs was afraid to call blitzes because, like they weren't fully into it. Their
Right.
heart wasn't fully into it. They weren't playing with the most intensity. And my other ones were avoid 3 and outs. I mean, I guess we kind of were like 500 about on that. But at the same time, on third downs, and man, we didn't even try to stretch the field. There's one
Right.
attempt that I saw in the second half where we went deep, barely missed a guy for potentially a touchdown. I think it was TJ Vasher that we missed for potentially a touchdown. I mean, when you got a 6'5" guy and a 6-foot guy, why don't you just throw it up?
Right.
Anyway, that's just my little rant on that. And so we didn't finish them. We didn't avoid any of those things. I'm going to say no on all those, and that's really all I got for that. So I want you to, in just a second, tell me your score prediction
For
the Iowa State game. Sorry. So here we go. This is reviewing my Iowa State score prediction. I said 48-24 Tech, and I don't know how that didn't happen.
I didn't submit a score prediction to you because
Yes.
I was busy, but it would have been a solid victory. It wouldn't have been as lopsided as you had, but it would have been 10 or more, is what I would have said. Which
Before the game, that seemed like a very
right,
a very
and
fair
it's such
thing.
on the interception, and this shows you how much kicking matters because. You get a pick. You run the ball 3 straight times. You get a touchdown. And then miss the extra point. Like you had a great start, and just that one point that you missed just demoralizes the whole stadium.
And our defense has been playing so good, especially from the start, especially from the start, that it's frustrating that the offense can't play off of that. Really take a lead, have a dagger earlier.
And again, this is bizarre for us to say because we're not used to having a defense and no offense. We're used to it being the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's blowing our minds, but we're slowly accepting it, and it would be so much cooler if, that we were winning these games because, we're like, oh, if our defense just got a little bit better, better, and then for some reason we're not putting it together on the offensive side of the ball.
I'm telling you, hashtag Team Duffy.
Who I thought would be our second stringer by
love
now.
to see that right now.
All right, cool. This is the Oklahoma preview notes. All right, well, this one we don't have to get up at 11 a.m. for an 11 a.m. game. So that's the one thing. However, it is in Norman.
Which is like going to Alabama.
Which is one of the hardest places.
Yep.
Unless apparently you're Iowa State this year to win on the road. It is very difficult to win there. It's 7 p.m. game. I believe it's going to be on ESPN or
I believe
ESPN2 or ABC.
ABC, yeah.
Depending on where you are in the nation. One of those two. They're ranked. OU is ranked number 2, 6-1 on the year.
10, not 2.
Ranked number 10, 6-1 on the year, with their lone loss to Iowa State at home. Their last 4 games have been decided by 8 points or fewer. They've all been technically one-possession games if you count the 2
And hey, you know what?
possibility.
Iowa State was more of an underdog than we were, and look what happened.
Yeah, that anything truly can happen. That's what
2011.
we're saying. We're saying it
Look back
right
at
now.
that.
Anything can happen. Of course, those games were 49-41 over Baylor, 38-31 losing to Iowa State,
Gosh.
29-24 over Texas, and 24-35 over Kansas State.
Talk about
when you-
close games with
when
people
you-
who should be close to you.
When you have a team that continues to have close game
Right.
after close game,
It
I
wears
feel
you
like
down.
eventually there's a moment where
Yep.
you're not going to get that luck.
It
You're not
just
going to get that
snaps.
ending
Right.
finishing, especially in those really close games.
Right.
Baker Mayfield, who all Tech fans hate. He leads the team in passing with 2,347 yards, 19 touchdowns on the year. QBR, although inflated, is 90.8, which is ridiculous. It's like the monster that Cliff created.
He needs to graduate and go back to his tool shed where he came from.
I really thought he was going to go to the pros after last year and kind of try to get drafted in the later round.
He's like Shipley. I swear Shipley was in college for 8 years and just kept on destroying us every season, but that's fine.
Yeah. They may have had a brother, too.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
There was 2 of them.
Yeah, so that makes it feel like forever as well. Trey Sermon is their leading rusher, 487 yards, 3 touchdowns on the year. But, man, keep an eye on the backs as well. Abdul Adams and Rodney Anderson. Rodney Anderson's the guy we've seen in a few of these fourth-quarter comebacks, fourth-quarter games. He's the guy that comes out around that wheel route and has those touchdowns. And so we need to keep an extra close eye on them. I don't know how you handle all
World
that.
Series update for John.
Oh, no.
3-1 right now.
3-1, the Dodgers lead right now. That tells you how late we're recording this,
Right.
by the way. That's all right. So, yeah, OU is second nationally in passing with 382.3 yards per game. That's pretty good passing offense. And 34th in rushing with 199.4 rushing yards per game. OU is tied for 7th in offensive points per game with 42, which isn't that much different than Tech overall. And they allow 25 points a game, which is a little bit lower, ranked 60th nationally. And here's what, to your point, any team can win. And historically, when teams have a big game the next week,
Right.
a lesser opponent, whether or not they are a lesser opponent, someone who's seen as lesser comes into town the week before, and next week OU plays Oklahoma State.
Which is going
Next
to be a
week-
hell of a game.
Next week is Bedlam.
Oh,
And
that's
so-
gonna be, I'm glad I'm in town for that.
There is a large chance that OU completely overlooks us. After coming off 2 losses in a row, there's a good chance that they treat us like we thought about Iowa State or
Send
thought
up your
about
prayers
Kansas
right
as
now.
well.
We'll need them.
And so there's a potential of a trap game. Anything else?
I have my
Yeah.
kind of blurs. I won't get into my keys of the game yet, but you touched on the running backs. See, in my opinion, they've had better teams and we've had worse defenses. So if there's a year to get them, it's this year. I'm not saying we will.
They're not as good as the running backs they
Right.
had before them, but that's still hard to
And
say they're
the
bad.
clear identity of this defense is stop the run. We have a great run defense right now. So if we can contain their
Yeah, I'm not
less
mad at
than
that at all.
right, if we can contain their less than stellar running backs and just be able to run with the receivers for long enough, we'll put. Now Baker has some improv magic, but if we can contain the running backs and run with the receivers, it doesn't give Baker much more to do than improv.
Yeah,
Which-
I feel like you do need a spy on him, but at the same
Right,
time,
right.
like, how can you afford that with the running backs coming out and
I
everything
hope
else?
his head rolls.
Man, I've thought about this quite a bit. Like, man, okay, would you be angry?
Hire Hitman. It's
Would you
fine.
be angry if we just totally launched and hit Baker
No, not at
for
all.
no reason?
Not at all.
Cost us a 15-yard penalty,
I
and they went on
don't-
to score that drive.
What is that old show that you don't know? You're young.
And Baker's probably all right, but he's a little bit like, what the heck's happening?
There's that old show that was brought up in my class today, and there's a famous line that says, frankly, I just don't give a damn, and I really wouldn't give a damn if we hit him hard.
So I honestly, this is probably a pretty dark place, but like I wouldn't mind if we just launched into him just to hit him for a play and get a penalty. If I was the
Dang.
coach, I'd be like, all right,
we
he
are in
deserved
a
it.
salty mood right now. Me and John are.
There's no one more hated for someone who's been around since 2013 as a Tech fan.
Gone with that
than
wasn't
Tech
it, but it's
fans
fine.
in 2013. All right.
I'm good. I'm good to go on the keys of the game in our prediction. If that's
All right.
Oh wait.
Right
never mind.
now.
Sorry.
Is one of my favorite segments. This is fun facts about OU. All right, so let's talk about the land thieves. If you get that joke, you might be a nerd. I'm just saying.
Good
All
or
right.
not.
So, the University of Oklahoma started in the year 1890, existing before Oklahoma was actually a state. It didn't happen until 1907. It was in the Oklahoma Territory before that.
Okay.
As we probably already know, most fans probably already know, their football history is quite illustrious. Very good.
Very, very decorated.
With 7 national championships and 10 Big 12 conference titles. The Big 12 hadn't even been around that long.
In 10 years, right?
And probably. I don't know how long the Big 12's honestly been around. But they have the most 10-win seasons out of any football team at 37. The most 11-win seasons at 22. They're ranked but first in both of those. Check this out. This just kind of cracks me up just a little bit. They had a stadium that seated 16,000 people in the year 1925. That was the first year Tech had a football team.
Are you serious?
They already had a stadium that had 16,000 people, which in that year was ridiculous,
big, right.
ridiculously huge. 16,000 people in a stadium already in the year 1925. I just saw that stat, and I was like, cool, that was the same year Tech had their first football season. Cool. Their enrollment, OU's enrollment is a little over 31,000. That's not as large as I thought they would be. I thought they were going to be closer to the 50,000s just because of their program's
Right.
historic everything, And so the acceptance rate, I couldn't find an exact one, but it's somewhere between 71 and 81%. I'm going to guess around 75. So somewhere around there is their acceptance rate, which is pretty darn high as well. I think both them and OSU have very high acceptance rates, as we probably talked about before. Man, famous alumni, because so many famous people have been there, I'm just going to run through a few of the athletes, and you can probably come up with a few off the top of your head. But running back Adrian Peterson.
Yep.
Quarterback Sam Bradford. NBA's Blake Griffin.
Oh, really?
Running back, yeah, I did.
Huh.
I had to look that up too. Running back DeMarco Murray. Those are all just a few of course, the 2 that they added this year with the running backs as well. Can you think of any just off the top of your head of famous alumni from?
Well, I didn't even have those, so I don't know. I have nothing more to add to that.
There was some other like historical figures and other
Right.
people. We might have
President
Michael
of
look up one.
President
in
of the
just a second.
Trader Club.
But there's so many
Jokes.
so many famous people from OU as well, so that was pretty cool. About their mascot, I always love to do a mascot bit, and this
What
one's
is it? Is
pretty
it a
fun.
horse?
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
so
the wagon first.
yeah, they have the wagon.
Troy Aikman.
Troy
Huh,
Aikman?
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mike.
if you're a Cowboys fan, I believe that's
Bless.
it's pretty cool.
Blessed, not blessed.
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty cool. So their mascot. First of all, it's not something to be pretty excited about. We're going to talk about the Sooner Schooner. I don't know how to say that word. Basically, the wagon. The scaled down wagon is similar to the original settlers wagon.
A big bandwagon. Yep.
That first pulled into Oklahoma when they were claiming themselves. That was a pretty good joke, by the way.
Thanks. You
Anyway,
did. I was gonna say you
the
just kind of went
bandwagon.
over it. It's fine.
Anyways, the two horses are named Boomer and Sooner. Go figure. Two of the least liked words actually in the Big 12.
So that's did the horse named Sooner get their second? Oh wait, he would have got there first
Sooner?
because he was Sooner. It's fine. Sorry, bad jokes again.
This
Go
is so
ahead.
cheesy. The schooner is the wagon is driven by a member of the Roughnecks, which is their male spirit organization. One person usually drives it, another person hangs out the back, hangs the flag.
Same.
The schooner made its debut in the year 1964 and became the official mascot in 1980. They did have a famous tumble one year in the game 1993 against Colorado.
I think I've seen the video of that too.
Apparently, it threw the driver, the flag
Yep.
bearer, and the queen. They had like either homecoming queen or whatever they
Oh,
call them,
so
the roughneck
sad. Not
queen.
really.
And they all got thrown into the turf. I believe they're all right, but that's pretty embarrassing, especially I think Colorado's good that year as well. So that's pretty sad that happened. And
So-
also, it's nothing to be ashamed, nothing to be proud of that you stole land and that's your mascot. Like, I don't know. We don't call. I don't know. There's nothing in West Texas where we'd be like, yeah, we're the haboobs.
We're the oil snaggers. No,
We're
you don't
the-
do that.
We get oil out of the ground. That like, there's nothing cool about that.
Oh,
Anyway,
I just sound
but
super
that is,
lame.
I guess, a point of pride that they're thieves by nature.
So they also have not a stuffed mascot, a person mascot on the sidelines.
Yeah,
so
it's like a horse.
Is that horse Boomer or Sooner?
You know, I'd need to check that. I don't know which one it is.
I'm surprised they don't have two because like Florida has two.
That would make sense. But they already have Boomer and Sooner, so maybe that has a different name. I don't know that for sure. All right, so that's about all the fun facts I have for Oklahoma. I'm gonna make sure to get this right because you like this one. All right. You know what that means. So it is time for rapid fire questions. So, does Tech look like they're in shambles to begin the OU game? And so what I mean by this means they look inspired. 0 first quarter points.
Do they look in shambles? No.
Okay. Sorry, I'm answering something real quick.
That's fine.
If you're still listening, thank you so much.
Oh, you're Cody.
Do we see McLean
Kendall?
Carter at all in this game?
Gosh.
Sorry, and I say no for that one. No, that we are.
No,
going
because
to-
we see Duffy instead.
I'm gonna say no for the first one, that we are scoring points in the first quarter. McLean Carter, we do see McLean Carter. Do we pass more times than we run?
You think we're gonna see McLean Carter?
I do, and I'm gonna
What?
unfortunately call it in garbage time. So that's why I'm saying yes.
Tears.
Okay, so you said no for that?
Yes.
You said no or yes?
Yes, I said no.
Okay.
Sorry.
Do we pass more times than we run? Okay.
We're gonna have to. Well, no. We're gonna win. Ooh.
Okay, these are rapid fire, so you
Sorry.
don't have to explain them. So no.
Do we
I'm gonna say yes.
tears?
Okay. Will Stockton be back for the OU game after his concussion?
I have no idea, so I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no as well. Will Cliff still be the coach at UT?
UT.
Well, sorry, I'm being distracted.
Wash
Will
your
Still-
tongue.
Still be the coach at the UT game by the end of the season. And so will Cliff still be the coach by the UT game?
Oh yeah.
Well,
If
will
we're,
we
gonna,
see?
if we're gonna fire him, it's gonna be after the season.
Okay, will we see Clayton Hatfield again this year?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna say hopefully he gets a red shirt or a gray shirt out of this season
Hopefully you put
and
me
gets
in.
another
Hopefully
year.
you put me in, coach.
Or
Cliff,
hopefully-
I know you're listening. I'm right here.
Or hopefully Cliff gives Drew a chance. Will we even see a field goal attempt in the Oklahoma game this week?
that doesn't count extra points.
Yeah, just field goals.
Yes, we will.
I'm going to say no.
Wow.
So we're not even going to take a chance. We will figure out how to stop this drop 8 defense. Will this happen for the rest of the game? How about this for the rest of the year?
Figure out how to get through an 8-man secondary?
Yeah, will we find out how to get through and somehow score points against a drop 8 defensive scheme?
Yeah.
I say yes as well.
Because Trey King's on our team, and he's going to have a breakout next half of the season.
All right. Should the Texas Tech fan base throw in the towel right now with a 4-3 record? Fans are saying we're going to finish 4-8.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not, and I agree. Does Tech pull out a crazy trick play in the first half and get a big lead or get a lead on OU at some point?
I think I said this for West Virginia preview, but we're gonna have a big play. It just won't be for points.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes that we're gonna pull out a crazy trick play. I don't know what's gonna happen after that, so I'm gonna go yes with that. Should Tech go for 2 on extra points from here on out?
No, because I kicked 20 today and they're chip shots. No.
All right, I'm gonna
Kick
say
the extra points.
no as well. Okay, this is just for me. Is Baker Mayfield such a douche that you pity the children? Listen, that you pity the children that look up to him as a role model?
Oh.
Because that's where I am right now.
Coming out of the D word, John. You caught me off guard there. It's fine.
I think that he is truly such a bad character, moral character of a person that I truly pity the people that say, I want to be like Baker Mayfield when I grow up.
I pity his kids. I hope he doesn't have. Let's hit him in the nuts and neuter him on the field. Let's do that.
This just got so dark.
So he has no more legacy.
Okay. Okay, so I call this 2-minute drill. If it came down to it, do you trust Tech's defense with a 4-point lead on their 30? So they have the ball. OU has the ball on their 30.
On OU's 30?
Yeah, for their final drive with a 4-point lead, or our offense on the 50 at the midline down by 4 to win.
Do
you trust defense or offense more?
If you said 3, I would have said I have enough confidence to where we could get field goal and tie it up.
That's why I said 4, so there's no field goal opportunity.
Yeah, screw you, John. No. I trust our defense.
I'm going to have to agree with you. I trust our defense as well. I really do. Like, this is the first year I can say that honestly, that I do trust our defense in that situation.
And I can't tell if that's a sad thing or if that's an amazing thing, but it's something.
All right. You know what that means.
Oh,
this
goodness.
is over-under questions.
I'm already heated. I'm going to get more fired up.
All right. So over-under. And I'll ask you and then I'll respond as well. 900 total yards in this game.
Over.
I'm going under.
Oh.
Over-under. Tech, and it might not even make sense with my score prediction. Tech rushes for 150 yards in this game. 150 for Tech rushing.
Over.
I'm going to go under. I'm going to think we're going to pass it a lot more. Over, under. Baker Mayfield throws for 300 yards in this game.
That's like a walk in the park to him. I'm going to say over.
You say over for 300 yards? I have over for that as well. Nick Shimonek throwing for over 300 yards in this game.
No.
Under. I'm gonna go over on that one. Because I'm going to say we're throwing for almost all of our yards.
You know, Michael, you're shaking your head. John just likes drama.
Yeah, I love the drama. I love to shake it up there. Okay, so OU outgains Tech by 100 yards in this game. Outgains Tech by 100. Over or under?
Over.
Yeah, I have to go with over as well. Over under 6 rushing attempts for Nisby in this game.
Over.
I'm going to go under. I'm going to say
really?
we're going to rely so heavily on Trey
King
in the rushing game, but we will probably pass it.
I get that he's good, but we're not going to do like a goal line formation with him?
Yeah, but I just don't see that much. Okay, over under in the OU game. 70 points scored total in this game, so 70 points.
Over.
I'm going over as well, and I think that somehow our defense has gotten better, but these games have been barn burners the past few years. Over under 4 total sacks in this game.
Total, both teams?
Yeah, as in total in the game.
Push.
You're saying push? I'm going to go over. So tight end Mark Andrews, I believe he's their leading.
Yes.
One of their leading. Yeah, we've struggled with tight ends.
He will be in the NFL.
Do you think Mark Andrews gets a touchdown and 80 yards in this game? So if you're saying over, you're saying
yes.
At least 1 touchdown, at least
both.
80 yards. All right, I'm going to say over as well. Over under Kiki Cutie has 2 touchdown, 120-yard game.
Over.
Man, that's a lot, but I'm going over as well. and Micah's pushing on that one.
You don't push yards. You just push touchdowns.
He's going with it. Okay, so right now is time for Tech's recipe for victory.
Duh. Winning.
There we go. You go ahead, Drew.
Alrighty. I have 5 for you. Okay. Contain Baker in his improv magic.
Okay.
That dude is a wizard.
That's a key all the time.
Yes, all the time. We don't need a pass rush. We just need a competent secondary. So Baker has nowhere to go with the ball, and so we need to contain him to where our secondary needs to run with the receivers.
Man, we have to ask a lot from every position. We can't let him out
of the pocket. We just can't.
We're asking a lot from every position
now,
for this game.
And I get that that's kind of contradictory because if he's passing and he has nowhere to pass it, he's going to try to run for it. And that goes against my first key to victory. But it's just got to be balancing it. I don't know how to explain it. It's just okay. I'm going to continue because I'm going to go on a
soapbox. So
soapbox.
Contain Baker Mayfield.
Yes. Competent secondary. To run with their receivers that are not as good as they're used to in the past.
Okay.
Control the ball in time of possession. We have to limit their drives. And the reason why I pushed over on that rushing yards is because I think turnovers is also a big factor. We got to win the turnover battle.
Yeah.
But I think we got to slow the game down and try to
slow it down.
Lean on the run more.
Yeah, man. If we have an effective running game,
yes.
it changes everything.
OU is a second half team, so we need to either stay hot after the break or make, and I have this capitalized, make and execute halftime adjustments. We haven't shown. I'm sure there's been adjustments, but we haven't shown we haven't shown the ability to execute adjustments.
Yeah, it seems like the other teams have made adjustments that have been more effective against us than vice versa in the games in general. And a lot of the games they've had close, almost comeback games, and we came up on top on some of them and dropped some of them as well.
And I kind of touched on this as my last point. I kind of touched on this already. They don't have the same caliber of receiving core that they usually do, and they don't have the same level of running game either. And our run defense is much better. So I think it's going to be I don't know. It's going to be a balanced game by us.
Yeah.
More balanced than we're used to. And
I hope we can do that.
We're just going to have to balance the contain Baker and have a good. It's going to be a very tricky game.
Yeah, I just the way I see it is just like they're weaker in the secondary than they are in that whole linebacking core and the D line. So for me, I really do see us attempting to throw the ball more. Okay, cool. So here's my recipe for victory. You good?
Yeah.
All right. So here's my recipe for victory. Start fast. Number 1. Tempo. Keep them on their heels. And this is completely opposite of yours, I guess. You're trying to slow it down. I say tempo. Keep them on their heels for the first drive. I'm saying 10 or more first quarter points will get us out to the
10 or more, you said?
Yeah, 10 or more. Cover running backs is number 2. Yes. Running back Rodney Anderson, of course, we know he's effective out of the backfield. Focus on stopping the run with as few linemen and people in the box as possible, because it seems like if we can effectively drop a few more people, not into prevent, but just into more of a coverage system, that's really hindered the OU offense as well. And my final one, you probably already know what I'm going to say, sack Baker Mayfield. This is our last chance.
No, don't just sack him. Destroy him.
Destroy him. Okay, this is our last chance to get even with him, to knock that man-child to the ground.
Man-child.
Because, man, that's what I've seen out of him. And I'm totally fine with the roughing the passer penalty. Maybe 2.
Maybe even targeting. I don't care if somebody's ejected. As long as he deals it the rest of his life, I'm okay.
I will high five you if you hit Baker Mayfield. And I'm
I thought you were going to high five me.
I will high five you now. And I will high five anyone who hits Baker Mayfield in this game, even if you are ejected from the game. I will find you and I will high five you because you will be a hero on campus.
I will find you and I will reward.
I don't know where you are.
Wow, okay, that was great in English though, right there. It's fine. Go ahead.
Just like we're gonna give out on that.
Yep, I'm not even gonna finish it.
Maybe I'm being a little harsh, but getting in Baker's head will definitely. And
you're not being harsh. You're actually understating the problem.
Yeah, if you have as much just hatred for Baker Mayfield as we do, this doesn't sound as harsh to us. It may sound really harsh to them, so I apologize if you're if you are hurt by this. Drew does not.
Not at all.
Okay, so this is this is my hot takes. That was all backwards, but you get the point. It was hot. It was there was something breaking and entering. There was some stuff happening there. All right, so my hot takes. Shimonek silences the haters in this game. Has a 4-touchdown game, 1 interception. And hopefully if he doesn't do that and get a penalty like Kiki did, that ridiculous penalty. Quan Shorts has his breakout game. 80 yards and a touchdown. That's what I'm saying is the criteria for that. Trey King shows that he can be an every down back, run between the tackles, and he will have a 120-plus yard game. That's a pretty hot take as well.
Jeez.
Tech will hold Oklahoma under 100 rushing yards through 3 quarters.
Okay, I could buy that.
Tech defense has a big fourth-quarter sack on Mayfield, and no matter the score, Tech fans have something to celebrate.
I hope it's a blindside. It just whiplashes his neck back. I hope it's blindside.
And I say a now healthy Douglas Coleman comes up with a huge interception on
What's wrong with him?
On a deep pass. I don't know what it was. Something had kept him out a few games ago from a deep pass from Baker. So I'm saying one of those deep passes, kind of like he had last year against TCU. One of those deep passes, he comes up with a 50-50 ball. And Kiki QT catches a 70-plus yard touchdown in this game and makes the defender look like a fool. Like, just totally beats his man.
A grown man move.
Grown man move. I like it. Do you have any hot takes off the top of your head?
Baker will not be in the Heisman conversation after this game.
Ooh, I hope so. I sure hope so.
OU will not cover the spread. It's 20 points right now. They will not cover the spread.
Covering the spread.
We've played the road underdog enough times for me to know that teams do not cover the spread against us.
Yeah, I don't think I have them covering. I'll say my prediction and we'll see if I'm wrong.
I think you know what? I think we hold them. I'm gonna kind of expand your prediction. I think we hold them to under 120 for all 4 quarters.
For all 4 quarters?
Yes. Because if our
I sure
team,
hope you're right.
I know that our offense is lacking identity, but if we have any identity on any side of the ball, it's that our defense on the rush is very competent.
Yeah, containing the rush at least.
I'm ready. I'm scared for this week, but I'm ready to put Iowa State behind us. I really am.
And even just a good showing against Oklahoma will at least get some people back on track.
Because I know y'all are discouraged. I know it. Because believe me, I am too to a certain extent.
Oh, it hurts.
But that
really
was
does.
not the team we are. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I'm not saying we're gonna win, but we're gonna come out being a team that you're not expecting.
You know what? I like that, and I think that
Let's go.
I think that the only mentality to have in this game is at least a bit of optimism.
Right.
And you can. I mean, if you lose, you lose. That's
Right.
it. That's all they can do. And so, I mean, if you put up a good showing, it just brings the fan base back closer together. All right, I think we're ready for the final segment. This is score prediction. Uh-oh, that kind of. There we go. It was lagging a little bit. All right, so there should be quite a few touchdowns in this game. Okay, Drew, I haven't heard yours. What is your score prediction and who wins?
38-35 Oklahoma.
38-35. Please don't tell me we miss a kick.
The hype,
because that would make me so sad.
The hype train has been grounded over the last 2 weeks. I'm
submerged.
I'm still
tunneled.
I'm still very much an optimist, but I think this will be close. But we just don't have enough firepower and enough gas to get it done. I don't think it'll be us missing a kick. I think it'll be them kicking a game winner.
Okay. Oh, that's hurtful.
But it'll be a score to where it'll be a loss. We'll be 4-4, and I know that sucks because we were just because it seemed like we were just 4-1, but that kind of score says our defense is good because we contain Baker Mayfield to 38 points, and our offense is competent enough to put 30 on OU. It's you never get the best of both worlds, but I think that score kind of gives you the best of both worlds. Minus the win, of course.
I mean, if we come out and do that, I will be thoroughly.
Yes.
I'll feel much better about this team. Okay, so I'm sticking to my preseason prediction like I've done all year. I've only been wrong once in the Iowa State game, actually. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the final score of 45-28, and I have OU pulling away in the fourth quarter.
You know, that's 13 points. That isn't a blowout.
You know, I have them pulling away late. And I mean, like, it was one of those things that's going to feel competitive starting the fourth quarter.
Right.
Tech has just not shown to me that they're capable of being consistent.
Right.
And, I mean, all we can do is really hope for a win in this game. And, man, that would bring so many people back. That would change the whole season. So,
But I'm telling you,
we'll see.
And John, I'll say this to our listeners mostly. Tech is known to beat teams they have no business beating. I'm calling a loss because the hype train has come down to earth from Cloud 9, but
It was a crazy train.
But don't be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised. I'm expecting a close game. I'm not expecting a blow. I'm expecting a close game. It's just a matter of, do we have what it takes to finish?
All right, and I think both of us definitely say we're going to at least come up a little bit short in that one. And please prove us wrong, Tech.
Yes. and like Shia LaBeouf says, just do it. Just do it. You said yesterday, tomorrow. That's not what that's backwards. You said that's fine. I butchered that again. It's fine. I
You
butchered
said tomorrow
everything.
yesterday?
Yes. Other than that, I think.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
I know this is a longer podcast. We fell behind by a week, but yeah. Okay. So as for the podcast, you can find this on SoundCloud, iTunes, on the podcast section, my Facebook page, the podcast Facebook page, and John's YouTube channel.
Yeah, John Starrett. Just search that in. Search Texas Tech. Would you like to plug one more time?
One more time. I'm not going to do the whole description, but hello, unless I stutter over it. We are brought to you by Blue Apron. Go to the website blueapron.com for more details. Working hard to try to get a discount, but bureaucratic stuff is slow, so it's fine. And other than that,
yeah,
I think that's it.
And the next home game is Kansas State, and
Yes,
Wesley will
11 a.m.,
probably
but
do
it's
some
fine.
sort of pancakes or something for breakfast before.
Shout out to
before
Micah,
that one.
who's listening right now because he did want to listen later. And shout out to Kendall,
best
because I know
way to
you're
do it.
listening. I know I've been entertaining Kendall lately. She told me at Firstly. Other than that, I don't know who else is listening. Cody, I
Sweet.
love you, but it's fine. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling.
Thanks, and keep sharing this to your friends if
Yes.
you enjoy it. If you just enjoy us rambling or weird, or whatever hot takes or anything that you heard that was interesting, check it out.
And
Send it
Rec
out.
OU.
Rec OU. All right.
All right, see y'all.
Wreck 'em.